Hi everybody, it's Natalie here. Welcome to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. We just had a storm blow through about maybe an hour or two ago, and we fared pretty well. It's a lot of water, and it was a lot of heavy winds. Look at my garden. We did okay. What do you think? These 3 tomato plants, they did blow over. They were completely bent over, but I came out and removed the metal tomato cage, and I reinforced them with these bamboo sticks. I'm gonna put it like in a teepee form using 3, and then I'll use some zip ties here and secure it at the top. I think that's gonna work fine on these. These are the Better Bush tomato plants. Okay, everything else did well. You can look around real quick. I hope you can see. All right, and the corn you can see where it's kind of leaning because, like I said, it was real high winds, heavy winds. But I'm gonna go back in there. I'm doing cleanup now. That's why I'm outside. I'm cleaning up. Can you see? Okay. So I'm doing cleanup. So I'm gonna write everything. Compact the soil around the bottom. You see? And just put everything back in place. I was wondering if I was going to have to stake my corn. I'm not sure. But everything did okay. I'm pretty happy. And my water barrel, of course, is overflowing. It is filled to capacity. Everything did well. So I'm happy. I was really worried. There's one thing I want to share with you. Something that happened. I had a critter crisis, is what I call it. Sorry about the shaky hand. Look. There was a rabbit sighting yesterday. Right in my backyard. You see that? I spotted a rabbit right back there between those 2 sheds, the metal shed and the wooden shed. I didn't think much of it. I mean, I saw him and I knew he could be a problem, him or her. And I said, okay, I'm gonna have to do something about that. This morning, missing lettuce. My son said, well, maybe Mama had to do with the storm. Maybe it was the wind. No, because before the storm started, I noticed this. Critter crisis. Okay. So what I'm going to do to remedy that is I'm going to just protect them with some bell cloche. Supposedly these okras and onions that I have planted next to it would deter the rabbit from coming by because they don't like the smell of garlic and onions. There is garlic plants all here. And those are yellow onions right by the lettuce. That's also lettuce, iceberg lettuce in that pool there. I don't know if you can see. Let me tilt it a little more. That's iceberg lettuce. And this is a different type of lettuce here. Onion plants and garlic plants right next to it. That did not deter that rabbit from coming here and having himself a buffet. Okay? So, I have a critter crisis, but it won't be a crisis. I'm gonna take a couple of bell cloches and I'm gonna cover what's left of my lettuce to keep him out of it until I can figure out a better solution. Other than that, everything is fine. I don't know if I shared with you guys about my my watermelons. I was able to get my sugar baby watermelons to germinate. And now I have so many seeds, I don't know what to do with. These are 2 that I have put in the soil right here to go ahead and make seedlings. I hope you can see. Okay, and the rest down there in let's see which tray I put it in. think, yeah, there they are. Seedlings galore. Honestly, I'm going to have, because I don't know if you remember, I had bunches. I mean, just a whole bag full of seeds, and I thought they were not viable seeds. So what I did is I didn't throw them away. I only had a few seeds that I thought were viable. When I did that test, when I put them in water, and if they floated, they were not good seeds, and if they sank, they were the viable seeds, the good seeds. Well, turns out that's not quite true. Okay, so I'm glad I did not discard those old seeds, those seeds that I thought weren't viable. What I did is I decided to keep them, and I soaked them in water for a long period of time, and nothing happened. But then I decided I saw this guy on YouTube say that you can use hydrogen peroxide in your garden. Hydrogen peroxide is basically water with an extra oxygen compound. It's actually H2O2. So it actually, if you use hydrogen peroxide in your garden, it's very safe, and it actually will add oxygen to your plant. If you have seeds that won't germinate, not only will it disinfect the seeds, if you soak them in a diluted solution of 8 to 1 ratio, 8 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide, it will disinfect your seeds. Also, soaking them will cause that hard outer shell to soften, and that will help with germination, but also that added oxygen. And when I tell you, I have photos. It was a video that I was going to post to show you that entire napkin that I used to wrap those seeds in to help them germinate. Every single seed that I thought, almost every single seed that I thought was not viable, germinated. I kid you not. And so that just shows you some of these little tests that people say, to determine certain things, they're not always foolproof. So now I have more sugar baby watermelon seeds than I can shake a stick at. And I'm trying to decide what to do, because I don't think I want to grow all of them. I don't think I want to sow all those seeds, or they're not even, I'm going to make seedlings, actually. I'm going to make seedlings right there in my greenhouse, and then I will plant them in my container garden. And so I did that with several other seeds. I did it with my cucumber seeds, and let me show you. These are, let me pull a little closer. Sorry about the shaky cam footage. But those are straight 8. Heirloom straight 8. There you go. Cucumber seeds. I was having problems with cucumbers, remember? I did a video about that. I hope you can see. There we go. Straight 8 cucumber seeds. Over there are 2 sugar baby watermelon seeds that I've already placed in the soil. Hope you can see. If not, I apologize profusely. Down here in this tray, I have more cucumber seeds because I used that same method, using the hydrogen peroxide and water solution, and I was able to germinate more seeds. And so I just put them in this little seedling tray. Okay? Right? But look at that. Look at the results. And I actually have some seeds over there on the table. I'm going to open them up and see what they look like. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those sugar baby watermelon seeds and the cucumber seeds, and I'm going to put them in little seed trays. And I will sow some of them. I will actually transplant them in the container garden. And if I have other seedlings, I may either give them out or even try to sell them. I'm leaning more towards giving them out. I honestly don't want to be responsible for selling someone something and they don't actually come up if they try to grow them. But I mean, I'll see. It depends, because I mean, when I tell you I have many seeds, I'm serious. It's a lot, because I honestly believed in that test. and thought that my seeds were bad seeds. But I'll say it again. What I did is I kept those seeds that I thought were bad and I soaked them. Plain water, no results. Then a few days later, I used the hydrogen peroxide and water solution. 8 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide. Very safe. I soaked the seeds in that. I actually left them in a damp cloth. Let me take this off so I can show you. Maybe I can. Let me set this up. If you guys have a moment, check out Marilyn. Look. Okay. Here are those seeds. Let me see if I can show you better than I can tell you. Hold up. Okay. I want to show you. All right. I'm going to hold it up. Can you see that? Do you see that? Now, this is since yesterday. I hope you can see. You're not being able to, you can't see all of them because I'm holding it at an angle. Those were those seeds. It's okay. Those were the seeds that I thought would not germinate. They were bad seeds. And there were more than this. The others, I've actually went ahead and I put them in some starter mix. That's what's in my greenhouse. Okay? That's what's in my greenhouse. Let me catch these. All right. These are sugar baby watermelon seeds. Sugar baby watermelon seeds. Okay. Hope you can see. Forgive me if it's not. I'm just trying to put it where you can see. Okay. All righty. There we go. And here, this is another variety of seed, but they're watermelons. This one's called Ultra Cool Hybrid. See, I chose Sugar Baby because they're what they call an icebox variety of watermelon, and they're only about 5 to 7 pounds. You know, and they're small. You need room to grow the larger ones. I have no need for big 20-pound watermelons. It's just me and my husband who eats watermelon, and I may give some to family or whatever. So these sugar babies are perfect. So that's why I decided to grow those. They can be maintained in a small container garden or raised bed garden. So that's why I went with the sugar babies. They're very popular. You see a lot of people growing these. But I wanted to try, not as successful with these. Okay, this variety is also a small variety, a little bit bigger than the sugar baby. It's called an Ultra Cool Hybrid. I saw it at Walmart. And as you can see, I did the same thing. Okay, and let's see, see that one seed there? That one seed. There you go. It's germinating. See that little root that's coming out? And they have been in here for a while. Okay, so that shows you. I think I may, wait, there may be more than one seed. I may already have one in soil. I'll have to check. But it'll be worth a try. I mean, even if it's just that seed that I have there and the other that I've already potted, which if I can remember correctly. Walk with me. Let's see. There it is. I do have one. Ignore what's written on here because that's not actually what's in there. If you can see, there we go. That's actually one of the Ultra Cool Hybrid. Remember, forgive me for my bad cameramanship. So, I want to say there's one seed in there, and I don't care. If it's just one seed, I'm going to plant that bad boy. So there's one Ultra Cool Hybrid watermelon seed in the soil, and then the one that I showed you that is germinating. That's enough just to check them out and see if I like that variety of watermelon. And it's not huge. Let me sit down. Yet another long video. Excuse my mess. I'm cleaning up after the storm. Everything is kind of topsy-turvy. Everything is soaking wet. But we fared well. I am blessed. And my garden is intact. And that's most important. And we are intact. That's most important. My family is intact. The schools actually canceled school today, because they were worried about this storm, because there was a possibility that tornadoes could develop. There was a tornado watch. There were 80-mile-per-hour winds. 80-mile-per-hour winds. And it was pretty in heavy rain, hard rain. So they didn't want to chance it. I live in Louisiana, so LSU, they closed. A lot of the state offices closed. I live in West Baton Rouge Parish. The schools over here closed, so my son was home with me today. I put a little video on on my on my channel about him. It's like all these other things I can replace, but I can't replace my boy. I can't replace Josh or Chris. Chris is home. He's on vacation from work. That's my older son, Christopher. He's on vacation from work, so he's home, and the child slept. Well, young man. He's not a child. He slept through it. I mean, me and my husband, we're on storm watch. I'm recording. I'm recording the storm and watching my garden. My husband's looking out the door, and he's like, "Oh man, the shed door came open. Dang it!" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's gonna be a little water. Don't worry about it." Always trying to keep a positive mind. It doesn't mean that I don't freak out when something happens. I do, but it's just at that time I just like to keep it chill and just pray for the best. Prepare for the worst and pray for the best. That's how I've learned to live. So I'm watching everything. I prepared yesterday. I put a lot of stuff in the shed. I moved things that would fly around easily. Didn't have to do much to the garden because everything's nice and heavy in those containers. And I was worried about the tomato plants, and they did fall over. I do have pictures of that, but they're okay. They how you say they bend, but they didn't break. Come on now. So I'm happy about that. And I was able to upright them, and I'm gonna put more support and protect them. And even my greenhouse. Now remember the greenhouse. I staked it down. It worked perfectly. A lot of people who buy these greenhouses, I have one of the smaller ones, but they have people who buy the ones that are even bigger. The main problem is that a big wind and it goes flying into the neighbor's yard. Mine has fallen over several times, and I was like, uh-oh, I may have made a bad purchase. Oh, actually, my husband bought it for me upon my request for my birthday. It's my birthday gift. And so, but I was looking online and looking at the reviews, and a lot of people were saying that they go flying. And I said, yeah, that's true. Knocked over seedlings and everything. They weren't completely destroyed, but one of my pepper plants was broken. But I saw a lady who she remedied that problem with the greenhouse by staking it down. And I did. First, I used those thick wooden stakes, and that didn't work too well. So I used those smaller green steel stakes, and that worked perfectly because they're much thinner. And you just put them on each leg of the greenhouse, and I used zip ties to secure them. And I drove them deep as I could into the ground, and it worked perfectly. As you can see, I'm still standing. So that worked. So I'm happy about that. Let's see here. I think I've updated you on everything. I told you about my critter crisis. It's not a crisis because I'm going to take my bell cloches and I'm going to cover them and protect the last of my lettuce from him or her. And I'm going to do some cleanup and put everything back in place. I'm going to sow some more seeds in the greenhouse, make some more seedlings, and then decide what I'm going to do. I can't wait to see them all come up and see exactly I mean, I had no idea. I had a small inkling. Something said, you're looking at all these seeds and you're saying that they're not viable, but what if they are? You know, I just couldn't throw them away. I just had, it was a bunch. It was more than what I showed you. Because, like I said, some are in the soil over there. And I still have more here. I'm going to have like just seedlings galore. I don't know what to do. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to sign off now. I just wanted to log on and show you what's going on. I'm going to clean up my mess. I'm happy that we made it. I'm happy that my garden was not destroyed. My rain barrel. Ooh, I told you about that. It's overflowing. It's overflowing. And I actually have a second rain barrel, but I'm waiting for the spigot. I had to order a second spigot from Amazon, and it will be here tomorrow. So, but I knew the rain was coming, so I put the second rain barrel out, but it's not completely prepared. It doesn't have the mesh top to filter the water. It doesn't have the spigot. It doesn't have the little overflow hole in the back. It's just a garbage can, a 32-gallon garbage can. But I caught the water, all right? I wasn't going to miss out on that rain. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to empty it, and I figured out a way to do it. I have a pool pump. I have this pump that I used to use to clear out this pool. I will pump the water, that rainwater, out, put it in another container, fix my rain barrel, make another homemade DIY rain barrel, and then I will return the water to its rightful place. And I'm gonna, it's in a perfect spot. I think I showed it to you before, over in that corner of the house where it comes off my roof. I don't have gutters. Eh. So it's like it's coming down off of the rooftop. So I hope that's not bad. You guys will tell me in the comments if it is or not. But I mean, it's rainwater. Okay? And also another thing I learned about the peroxide, the water peroxide solution. It kills fungus gnats. And just you can use it as a pest control to spray on your plants. Some people even use it every time they water. It will kill off bacteria. So if it was in the ground, it would be a big problem, because if it was in the ground, if you were gardening in the ground, it would kill off all the good bacteria along with the bad bacteria. But being that you are using, if you're using containers and raised beds, you're not really worried about all the bacteria. You're controlling that environment. You're controlling the container. You're controlling the raised bed, and it's not that type of organic farming or gardening where you're worried about the microbes and everything in the soil. That's how it was explained to me. So you kill off some. You don't. It's prolonged use may not be recommended, but just to kill off those fungus gnats. And it works well against a variety of different problems and pests. Like I said, some people, I wouldn't do that, but some people will actually use it to water. Every time they water, they'll put a little peroxide in their water. I don't think that's necessary. But as far as treating it, a way of treating your plants for pests that's not chemicals, even though I use things like neem oil, I've used neem max. I have another solution that I use by Maggie's Farm. It actually smells good. It smells like spices. By Maggie's Farm. I may have showed it to you before. I use that. And I think it's called 7. I use that also. But I try to stay in the parameter of pesticides or insecticides that are more natural and safe, organic, to protect my vegetables and fruit. But peroxide, which is extremely safe, an inoculant, not inoculant, I'm sorry, what do you call it? That is not poisonous. It's not, what is it called? Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, but it's safe. It's safe. Um, so I don't think I would use it to water every time. But think about it. If I'm concerned, and I'm just saying, I'm just going to throw this out here. If I'm concerned about my rainwater, and because it's runoff from the roof, what if I put just a little bit of peroxide in the rainwater to kind of kill off any bacteria? I thought about it. You know what? I think it should be if I'm using that rainwater to that there we go. If I'm using the rainwater, look, I'm brainstorming right in front of you. Oh my god. Okay, if I'm using the rainwater to water something, I'm using the little spigot to collect rainwater to water my plants, which I did. It was so much fun. I'm like, I can't believe I made this. I can't believe I made this. When I put the little container under there and turned that spigot and the water came out, and I'm learning how to control it. You know, it's like when you first turn it on, it's like spill all over the place. But then I slowed it down and I've learned how to use the spigot and control it, and it just came out, and I was so proud and so happy. It's fun. Gardening is fun, and all these different things I'm learning. And I filled my container, and I went and used it to water my ferns in the front. I know you rarely see my ferns, but I have, I think it's 4 ferns. Yeah, in the front. LaFern and Shirley, of course. They're back. They made a comeback. I lost my other ferns with the frost, so I had to replace them. So, anyway, so I went to water the ferns, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I put a little peroxide in the water then. It adds oxygen. They say if you have like soil that is anaerobic, you can correct that anaerobic soil or compost by adding a little peroxide water solution. You just have to look up the exact ratio. It may not be the 8-to-1 ratio. It may be something else. I think it's actually a 1-to-1 ratio. One part water, one part peroxide. And this gentleman, he actually had used compost in his garden, that his very own compost, where it hadn't completely decayed and decomposed, so it was kind of anaerobic. And he put it in his garden, and he noticed that his vegetables or the vegetation was yellowing, and the plants were dying off. And when he would dig around, he would smell this horrible, rancid, funky smell, he said. And that's when he realized it was his very own compost. His compost was anaerobic. So what he did is he corrected that by using the peroxide and water solution. And I think he used 1-to-1 ratio, 1 part peroxide, 1 part water. I'm making a really long video, and I'm very sorry. Um, and it worked. So I even thought about that when I had the anaerobic compost that I was making. I had to correct my compost. I did it another way. I put it out in the sun, and I let it get aerated, and I stirred it, and I added more browns because it was too much greens, and it had become really rancid and smelly. And I just kind of balanced it out and did it naturally, and it worked. But that's an even quicker way to do it, by using that peroxide. So there's a bunch of uses for hydrogen peroxide in the garden, and you should look into that. But I'm at the 30-minute mark. All right, I'm going to sign off now. um, if you enjoy my content, please hit like, share the videos, and subscribe to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. And I'm going to sign off now and clean up after the storm. And you guys have a great day. Bye now.